Back in my teens, I was obviously a bad kid. I did everything because I was angry, because very confused in life. Well, anyhow, I did surfing because I lived in Florida, and my mother and father took us to a Baptist church, so I learned a very religious upbringing. So anyhow, I'm surfing one day, and I get bit by the shark, and that day, the pastor that we would go see said, "Don't you think it's time to give your life to God?" And I struggled with it at first, but then I felt, you know what, that was God saying, "Wake up, it's life now." And I was actually saved by that shark bite, because I believe there's no way that happened without God saying, "Hey, here I am." So move forward to when I was 21. I started having panic attacks. Before that, I was doing a lot of drugs and alcohol, and I had the panic attacks. It made me stop them, and it made my relationship with God grow, but I felt like I was dying for 3 years because these panic attacks were really, really bad. Now move forward to, I was 31, they found a tumor inside my stomach that was 10 centimeters big, and they told me I had 3 months to live, and they removed it. They tried to get me to sign waivers and papers that I was basically like a test person for them to give me a drug and see if it helped somebody in the future, but they looked in my eyes and said, "You're going to die, it doesn't matter, but you'll help somebody else," and I wouldn't sign them. Anyhow, it was a benign tumor, and they told me, "You're good to go the rest of your life," and so that's what I did. I was good to go, and I lived life. I always had a relationship with God. Because of my religious upbringing, I always felt like it wasn't strong enough, but now I'm realizing is God accepts you no matter where you are with Him, because He can make the stage of what's next in your life. So here we go. I'm 38, and I'm working, and we carry big 32-foot ladders at work, and it was leaning towards cars, so I just used my head to push it back so it wouldn't fall on any cars, and my neck snapped. And for 9 months, I kept working, even though my neck, I could barely move it at the time. And so I'm just going to read this because my wife says I exaggerate a little bit, and I want to make sure that I have the right story going here. So in 2015 of February, I was diagnosed with cancer. They did a scan, and there was the one in the neck that actually is the reason why my neck snapped, is the tumor ate my C3. And so they did more scans, and I found it in my bones and my stomach, and the one in the neck. Well, they couldn't remove the one in the neck. They actually had to cut an artery because I was going to bleed out if they didn't cut one. And they got 3/4 of it out, and they had to leave it and put screws and all that stuff. I also had a spine T11 fusion, and also a left hip fusion, where they actually put a needle inside of you, kill the tumor, and then put cement in. March 2016, I went to the NIH because scans showed the tumor had spread to my liver. UPMC did the scans. They didn't know what to do. They said chemo, but because of the liver, you go to NIH. And they ended up saying that, yeah, it's on your liver. But they didn't know what to do either, so they were overwhelmed with what the answers were to that. 3 weeks later, I came home and did radiation to the neck. Pastor took me. He actually watched me start falling apart at the time. And it ended up growing, the tumor ended up growing even more. So anyhow, May 11th comes.